Hi everybody, so I'm here today with another lovely bass, which we've had the pleasure of finding a really good home for. It's made by Natale Carletti, who was a maker from Pieve, Centro, apologise for my Italian in advance, which is between Bologna and Ferrara. He was born in 1904 and died in 1979, so he's a sort of fairly modern Italian maker, a very, very high standard. He was the son of Carlo Carletti, who again was a lovely maker. And actually, he was a fairly prolific bass maker. And he continued to make them even after his father had died, when he sort of took over the workshop. Beautifully made, it's always very well finished, beautifully varnished, etc. And this is a really interesting bass because you really get the feeling that Natale is wanting to be recognised as a maker. And up until this point, he's worked with his brothers in the workshop of his father. And it's quite common in Italy, you see that the father is in charge of the company right up until the end, and then the son takes over or whatever. And it's the same in this case. So although this bass is labelled by him and it's got studs that are signed by him, and it's got writing a description on the inside, and he engraved in the wood under the plates. He carved NC, so he's really trying to get across that he made this. So I think it's like he's coming up and sort of wants to be recognised as a maker on his own, and he's done a beautiful job. Things really interesting things like the four pieces of wood in the front aren't that conventional. There's quite a narrow grain bit here, a wider bit there, it's a little slabby bit here. And then there's obviously a knot as well that's got an original patch. You'll see it. I think it's down there. So it's got a real sort of feeling of like this is him becoming a maker, and he continued to work underneath his father until his father died, and then obviously took over the business. It's a beautifully made bass, very, very high quality of making. Lovely varnish. The varnish becomes lighter and slightly less heavy than this, but I think it looks great. And he also did this sort of almost a bit Art Deco-y kind of shape at the top. The thing that's really cool about this is, although it's a big bass, obviously I'm quite short anyway, but it's not a small bass, but the way that the way the body is designed, actually, that's the G. It's like you hardly have to get over the bass at all, which means you don't put the end pin out much. So it's a beautifully designed model. Walnut back and sides. You can see the shape there. Nice deep edge work, which I like. It's beautiful. Really, really nicely done. Body. So we'll have a look at the scroll. Okay, so here's the head, and it's got four strings. It's original 4 strings with the sort of the silver-plated plates. So it looks great. Also, it features a Thomas & George Martin low C extension, which we've just finished. So really beautifully done. There's a bit narrow here, but basically we have these little slots. You probably can just about see where you can actually fine tune the catches. You can also adjust it here, so they're fully adjustable. And we got where the string height's really nice and it's so easy to play. It's a really interesting thing and a beautiful scroll, very soft, big chamfers on the volute. But no, it's a cracker, really nice bass. And so you're in for a little treat now, because I'm going to play a few notes at you because Tom is not here. So don't judge me. Everything in the body's original, bass bar and everything's good. And what it did have was the original neck, which basically the overstand, it was quite interesting to see one that's, it was originally done, and the head's of walnut and the whole neck was walnut. So the neck and everything was walnut. And basically, but it had, the overstand was absolutely non-existent. There was no overstand at all. So basically impossible to play for modern playing. So we did a new neck, new maple neck. We do good necks here with the graft and stuff. The other thing I forgot to say about the extension is that we actually hide the string inside the extension itself, so it tunes really easily on the E key, so that the tuners, all the notes are correct. But it basically means we don't have to drill through the scroll as well, which is nice. So we did a new neck, we've been over the setup and stuff, and man, this thing sounds incredible. So I'm going to play a few notes, as I said, my playing is not my best attribute. I'm not sure what is, but definitely it's not playing. So I'll play a few notes for you, but just because it's important for you to hear it. But it's a beast. It's huge. I'll try my G major scale 2 octaves. On the way up, it's not too bad, but on the way down, it's a bit dodgy. But we'll have a go. There you go. I hope anybody that's listening still has their hearing, and that this has been enjoyable. Anyway, I thought it was important for you to hear the bass because, man, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's got this, when you're doing the setup, what you're always aiming for is this thing where you have tension but freedom. So you've got tension for the note to work, but total freedom when you play it. And, you know, that allows you then, if you want to press in, you can really give it some welly and there's no end point. You know, this goes to 11. So I hope you enjoyed that, and thank you for watching.